History of Sarah. Sarah is a highly significant woman in the book of Genesis in the Bible Old Testament. She was the wife of Abraham, chosen by God, and the mother of the nation of Israel. Her story demonstrates faith, patience, and trust in God's promises. Her life was a long journey that involved joy, sadness, frustration, and miracles. Early life and God's call. Sarah's original name was Sarai, which means my princess. She lived with her husband Abraham in Ur of the Chaldeans. At that time God called Abraham and promised, "Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation," obeying God's command. Abraham and Sarah left their home. They lived in Haran before reaching the land of Canaan. At that time, Sarah was childless and barren. Although God had promised Abraham a numerous offspring, like the stars in the sky, Sarah's inability to conceive became a spiritual and emotional challenge for them. Sarah worried about how God's promise would be fulfilled, human plans and weaknesses. As the years passed, Sarah became impatient and tried to fulfill God's promise in her own way. She urged Abraham to have a child with her servant Hagar. Abraham listened to Sarah, and Hagar became pregnant. This situation created problems. When Hagar became pregnant, she began to despise her mistress Sarah. Because of this treatment, Sarah became very angry and treated Hagar so harshly that Hagar eventually fled from her. However, an angel told Hagar, "Go back to your mistress," and instructed her to name her son Ishmael. This event highlights Sarah's frustration and human weaknesses. The miraculous fulfillment of the promise. When Abraham was 99 years old, God reaffirmed his covenant and changed the names of both Abraham and Sarai. Sarai was changed to Sarah, which means princess, or mother of many nations. God promised that Sarah would give birth to a son named Isaac and become the mother of all generations. Later, 3 angels from God came to them and said, "About this time next year, Sarah will have a son." At that time, Sarah was 90 years old, and when she heard this, she laughed to herself. God, knowing her thoughts, asked, "Is anything too hard for the Lord?" The following year, through a miracle, Sarah gave birth to a son, just as God had promised. She named her son Isaac, which means he laughs. Filled with joy, Sarah said, "God has brought me laughter, and everyone who hears about this will laugh with me." This event shows that God's timing is always perfect, even when it seems humanly impossible. Legacy. Sarah's life provides important lessons. Mother of faith. In the New Testament, Sarah is described as the mother of all believers. Although she initially doubted the promise, she eventually trusted in God's power, which enabled her to give birth in her old age. God's promises are unbreakable. Sarah's story shows that God's promises are always fulfilled, even amidst human weaknesses and efforts. God's fulfillment of his promises does not depend on human ability or striving, honesty, and hope. Sarah had to wait in pain and doubt God's plan. However, because she maintained hope, she was able to participate in God's plan. If you'd like to learn more about the history of prominent figures from the Bible, please subscribe to this channel.